Okay, all right, folks, we're here for my Friday session. I have 30 minutes. I've worked on the boat all day. I came in with a couple alt shorts, with the limits on BNB and Bitcoin from lower. So let's go ahead and see what has happened. I have what I hope happened, but I just need to focus on what did happen and just stick to my exact routine. So let's go ahead and get into it and see. Okay. So one of the alts I'm in has moved slightly against me. The other one moved slightly against me. Bitcoin keeps grinding higher slowly. It's up a little bit. Let's check BNB. Not a lot of movement. So technically I would be down from yesterday though, which is okay. Not a lot has happened. Let's go ahead and take a look. Yeah, down ever so slightly from yesterday. So let's go ahead and see. I always like to look at the traditional markets. Yo, gold is on a fucking rocket ship this year. It's crazy. Couple back-to-back huge days. It's just climbing. It's at 2,700. Yeah, it's interesting. It was in a consolidation for 4 years. And when it finally broke out, it's up about 40%. So gold's continuing higher. Silver, huge day on silver. I wonder why. What happened with silver? Um, Interesting. So we see Dow Jones hit a new all-time high. Um, US 500 no, but yeah, EU 50 is recovering. Dollar had its first red day in a long time. Actually, that's crazy. Dollar hasn't had like an actual red day in 3 weeks. It's just green, 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 green basically every day. Okay, so based on that, yeah, Bitcoin went higher. Bitcoin dominance has continued. Doge is continuing to break out. ETH dominance is weak. BNB. ETH hasn't moved. ETH is quite weak. That doesn't mean it cannot go higher, but I'm kind of interested to see under the hood with price really going sideways, but failing to make new highs. The total crypto market cap is actually giving a potential short signal today, where it came and it took back the August high, August 1st high, and it's closed under it. Now that wasn't a swing high, so it's not a super strong signal, but that's just something to be aware of. I'm noting others' dominance is actually up today too. So Bitcoin, I have orders quite a bit lower. I have lower on BNB. Saga and Arkham have both moved against me. So I definitely does look like I did the right thing yesterday. I closed Book of Meme, which is rallied. I closed People, which rallied. Um, yeah, I mean, yesterday's decisions were good. So I'm just gonna go through and look. Yeah, getting out of AXL also worked because my stop was like right here. So let's go take a look and go through. I only have about 30 minutes. Sui looks to me kind of interesting for a sell, but arguably it's some kind of Elliott wave. I don't know that I really have time. to look. Doesn't really look right. But for whatever reason, Sui's kind of interesting to me, so I'm just going to pay attention to that. CVX, CRV, BNX, Rose, Sheeb, here, Popcat, Stacks. I'm not seeing any kind of signals on anything. It's kind of chopping. So what I'm really interested in, look, Cospa could work. That was a long that I noticed in. I mentioned I don't like longing alts, but yeah, that would have worked or would be working at least. Was probably at least worth looking at. Yeah, Doge is breaking out. Let's look. Okay. There's going to be an argument for putting my limit order on Bitcoin higher yet again. So that's something I'm going to pay attention to. Yeah, Cospa. I mentioned Maker has just been super weak. Sometimes just something's wrong with one and it dies. Pepe. Okay. The market's not really moving as one right now, the crypto market. But it's mostly green days today, or yesterday at least. Okay, so I don't see any new possible setups, and there's only 5 that I'm really going to look at. I'm going to look at the majors, and I'm going to look at the 2 alts that I'm in. I could consider changing my target, but I don't see a reason to market out of these at the moment, but looking under the hood could change things. Funding is pretty aggressive on Bitcoin. We're seeing negative in a couple places. The whole market though, there's pretty funding is pretty hot. Although there's certain things that are heavily shorted. But yeah, funding has been hot for a while, so I don't know. Yeah, it's just not an environment where I want to chase longs. Bitcoin, I have 20 minutes. Look at Bitcoin, ETH, BNB. I'm in Saga and Arkham. I want to go into the hourly on, oops, these ones. Bitcoin, ETH. Okay. It's my routine. It works. Doesn't work every time. Ah, interesting. BNB went negative again. Closing that, I'm not going to call it a mistake, but I will say it's not really working out closing BNB. Not that it's gone so much higher. Okay, so well, it might be time to close Arkham, unfortunately. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, right? I don't need to be married to anything. Any idea? The funding on the crypto market is pretty high. It doesn't mean it cannot go higher, but it's actually for Bitcoin, it's according to this reading, it's lower than it was. Like it's normalizing a little bit, although open interest is just continuing higher and higher. Pulled back a little from 21 billion. I just don't like it. I don't like seeing this divergence of spot selling and leverage building. I would just much rather, as badly as I want to participate in all-time high, I want to take the high probability trade. ETH prices basically stayed the same with open interest staying roughly the same. But here it looks a little bit healthier with spot buying at the market. BNB. BNB looks good to me. I might want to try to chase this one higher. Why does it look good to me? Spot buying, perp selling, open interest isn't at a crazy level. I mean, you could say, oh, people are like buying spot to stake and then shorting. Yeah, that might be true. That would also explain it, but Saga, I don't really love. It looks fine. Arkham is tough because funding is going negative a little bit. At the same time, Spot has really been leading the sells here. What even caused the small move up here? So I think I might stay with that. Saga, I think I'm gonna leave my shorts and then I could consider chasing higher. We have some new areas. Bitcoin's been really interesting. I mean, it is higher than, but the last 3 days, it hasn't made significant ground. It's just been slowly like drifting. ETH hasn't even challenged the high. ETH's relatively weak. Okay, so there was a pullback. It didn't really feel tradable. I think there's nothing to do but just step aside. Because I can enter these new gaps here, but it's just so late and chasing. And either like I want to either enter after a liquidation or enter with the liquidation or after a liquidation, and that's not what either of these are. But I could definitely see just continuing to miss this move. 6% pullback is We could also hit 70 and then have a pullback. We could also just launch. I mean, how far are we from all-time high right now? 8%. I could still be a market buyer with a like tiny position and a wide stop, which I think I kind of want to do that. It's a little bit of a hedge, and if I make it small enough, it can be all good, even if it kind of goes against me. Oh, interesting. We're seeing some volatility come in. Right, 91. Hmm. Okay. It's definitely a different regime where like funding is. I'm also noting that, I mean, it's for sure to the upside. Like, there's no shorting on Bitcoin. That said, I don't really love chasing. Uh, I guess I see a possible liquidation level forming just right here at 67. This section right here. Okay. think it does make sense to continue to look for shallower pullbacks rather than like a top. So I don't hate the idea of the 60,400. It's a question of where I would want my stop to be though. And there's a gap there. There's kind of a double low also. Question is where I would want my stop though. Would I want to allow for this? Yeah, that would be fine. Green trash, okay. Yo, I love what's happening with Arkham while I'm watching. The shit kind of dying. I'm back to where we were yesterday when I logged off, so that's good. Kind of like this for Bitcoin. I mean, on one hand, under the hood it doesn't look good at all, really, honestly. I could look lower. What about under here? This section is maybe better. 66, 600. Kind of like that. Looking for a bigger pullback, which might not happen, and I may just be forever chasing and missing the move. But I also want to do what's likely, right? Oh, Arkham just puked right there, which is good. I would love to see that. Because Litecoin is launching. Doge is really interesting. Wow, just as we're talking here, it's going up, up, up. Maybe that was the bottom in August, but many things. It's not always so easy to take advantage, though. I'm okay with this, maybe. Kind of like the idea of running some tight stop longs. Uh, I like the lower one if I'm gonna trade it at all. But I'm okay with this one though. Something like this. 66, 550. Okay. So that's gonna be my only action on Bitcoin. I could definitely get hurt if we get a big dump on everything. Yeah, so actually considering BNB, I probably won't take a huge position here. Maybe why not? Definitely not gonna do the closer one. We could try this at 66, 583. And with a stop loss at 65, 358. The TP. I don't even want to aim for 70,100. Like, I want to think about new all-time highs. Like, really cruising. Okay. 66, 5, 77. So I'm basically doing the accounts where it was yesterday, and I'm adding another limit order on Bitcoin higher. At some point, I'm gonna get filled on these. But what's funny is like that point might just lead to losing trades also. Like I may finally get filled, but it's just because the market's dumping and I take a bunch of losses. So, however, that's also why I have some shorts running too. Okay, ETH short. Yeah, let's edit this a little bit. Okay, okay. I would say the worst thing that could happen would be I'll lose my longs. I'm gonna say that because of the size that I have, but I do like to size my longs higher, and I think it's okay. But for price to come down, it would be, yeah, that looks like this looks like a good place, all good places, and my shorts should carry somewhat, so I'm okay with that. And I reduced the size on some of these too. Yeah, okay. Let's send it. Yeah. I guess I have a big gap here in exposure where if price goes between here, but it's all good. Okay, appreciate y'all. Much love, happy trading. Peace.